So, good morning or good night, depending on where you are in the world, and welcome to another interview of the Chill Dude on a Couch. Today, I have Mathieu from the band Lizzard. They're a prog rock band from France, and they're about to put out their fifth album on September the 27th, and it's called Mesh. So, Mathieu, how are you today?
I'm fine, thanks. How are you, Hector?
I'm pretty good. So yeah, I listened to the record, and I really enjoyed it because I really enjoyed that type of prog rock, and it's said for fans of bands like Carnival, Deftones on the when I got the promo, I'm like, yeah, I never heard of this band, but I like the like the bands that they're saying, like, if you like these bands, check them
Yeah.
out. So I check you guys out, and you've opened up for some big tours for some big bands I was reading. So yeah,
Yeah.
pretty interesting stuff. So for people, yeah, so you are the lead singer and you also write most of the lyrics for this band, right?
Yeah, to be honest, Katie and myself write the lyrics most of the time. For the, I
Okay.
mean, it seems like more and more I'm going more personal into the lyrics, meaning like I take care more of that. But I usually get hit by Katie because again, I'm French, so most of and there's a thing going on with the French language here. But we were watching the other day something on Netflix or something, and there was a joke coming from an
Hmm.
animation that we were watching, and it sounded so true. And basically, the joke was like, I don't know what he's speaking French or something, and the whole theme about it was there was God talking about something, and God said, "Well, I created the French language as a silly joke," and uh, and that's actually true because French language is just very complicated, and
I
usually
know.
what goes in our head when we want to express ourselves is as complicated, if it's not even more. So, so I need help to translate basically what's going on in my head and what I want to say to get the picture right and to make sure that this sentence means what it means, if you see what I mean. So that's why
Yeah, I know.
usually, yeah. So usually Katie helps me on that. But yeah, I write the lyrics usually, and yeah, it on this album it was a bit more personal, a
It
bit more.
sounds when I'm reading, I was reading the lyrics because
Yeah,
and they sound like, yeah, very personal. But we'll talk about some of the lyrics if obviously if you want to, if you
sure.
yeah. So I know you've released out of this album. There's three singles out. You have The Beholder that ends the record, which is a great album closer. You have Elevate, which is one of my favorite songs on the record, and Black Sheep. So three great tracks. I think Elevate and The Beholder are one of my favorites, especially like the way uh, it's prog rock, but you are a band that really have some very like catchy choruses and
Yeah,
good to sing them.
yeah. It's I don't know. I mean, to be honest, we never think about this kind of thing when we compose, and from the start, actually, most of the time people put what we do into this prog category, and we never chose that. It's just that's what happened. But because I guess because even us, it's really hard to pinpoint what we are doing stylistically. Uh,
I would say
we've
it's
got
like kind of like alternative rock.
yeah, I mean, we are all from the 90s. So
Me
I
too.
mean, yeah, so that was the big alternative time, and that was and for us that was for us the best in music is the 70s and the 90s. Uh, this is where the shit happened for us, and even more in rock music. So I guess we are more than few bands or more than a style. We are basically more influenced into the spirit of it all, if it makes sense. Um, and I think we grew up on that and we kept that since then. And yeah, there's so many influences on what we're doing. So it's very and it is rock definitely, but we try to bring that somewhere else, if it makes sense. And sometimes it comes out that we never expected, but we like it, so we keep it. If you see what I mean. So it's a very yeah, we are. I think, yeah, we are very, very instinctive when it comes to creating music. So that's the result. So if people enjoy it, that's great. If they don't, that would be the same. It's just
Yeah. Like I said, yeah, I get some 90s. Like I said, there were some vocals that reminded me of Brandon Boyd from Incubus,
yeah.
but also another band that came to mind that I could like not that you guys sound the same, but like a similar style. I thought of a German band that I really love called the Intersphere. Uh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Actually,
because you guys play, yeah, because they put them in like in a prog, but it's more. I'm like, it sounds like alternative rocks to me.
actually,
Uh,
we played with them. We played a gig with them. I can't remember where, and I can't remember when. I think it was before the COVID times or just after. I
mhm,
can't remember.
mhm.
But yeah, we played with them, and yeah, that's really cool. They are a really cool band. But yeah, they've got this kind of thing going on too, like mixing lots of influences from the 90s. They are very 90s approach. Yeah,
Yeah, like
definitely.
you guys, yeah, you have that 90s. So I'm sure someone has asked you about the inspiration for the name Lizard. But I have a few I have a theory, maybe I'm wrong. Is it because of Saigon Kick's album The Lizard?
Okay, well, that's a good theory, but that's not the one.
That's
It's
not the
just
one. So
uh,
what's the story behind the name?
oh, it's just so silly and so simple. Basically, I mean, like all bands, when you start a band, you just playing music first. So and then you enjoy, and then you think, okay, let's maybe make something out of this band, you know. So and we were looking for a name, and I don't know. I mean, again, because we couldn't really pinpoint on what we were doing, stylistically speaking, and
Mhm.
we are definitely not into fashion stuff. Like you know, there's always a fashion of about names. Like at the moment, for example, it seems like the fashion has to be names that never ends. It's just like
Yeah,
long. It's just like
very long names. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Like you could actually write a song about this name on its own, you know. So, uh, but we just wanted something like one word that people could remember, and because we are living in deep in the forest in France, we are very into the wild stuff. So, Katie, I think that's actually Katie that came up with that name, and we were thinking, I don't know, we were thinking about it for a whole afternoon in a practice day, and then Katie said, "Lizard, that sounds catchy. Everybody's got this picture of a lizard, and
Yes, I'm afraid of them.
yeah, and it sounds quite cool somehow because of this wild attitude and this and the fact that it just you never know how to grasp it because like the music that we were doing at the time. So I don't know.
Mhm.
We just thought, yeah, okay, let's do this. Yeah, let's keep that. Fuck it, we will see. And then we
Yeah,
never.
and maybe also because lizards shed their skin a lot.
Yeah, well, that's but again, this animal just spoke a lot to us because that's how we felt about what we were doing and what we were wanted to do and what we were trying is just we were trying to renew stuff that we try to not repeat ourselves all the time and yet
Mhm.
we are still the same animal whatever
Yeah,
we do, so
whatever you do.
yeah.
So you were saying before that this that for you this album in the lyrics it's maybe your most personal record.
Oh yeah.
Uh, why do you think it came out that way to be that most personal record for you?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, it's never been the goal. I never thought about, oh, let's make a very personal album. That's not what happened. But again, and I know not many people don't want to talk about it anymore because they just don't want to forget about this. But this COVID time, the whole those two and a half years that we got locked down, that everybody was basically stuck somewhere. We came out with an album at that time, right in the middle of it. So, and that felt really weird because usually when we make an album and it's released, we go on tour straight away
Mhm.
and we basically tour with it for a good year minimum, you know. So, and this time we couldn't. So this frustration was there, but as an artist, somehow in my brain that went, well, okay, we compose music, this music is out, but we can't really use it somehow. It's just we
Yeah,
can't really
that
leave
was
it.
eroded. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and yeah, exactly, that was eroded. And so I guess that there was this kind of internal questioning thing this yeah, I don't know, this realization of a few things about myself and the whole thing. And when came the time of writing lyrics, I had things to say. I don't know, that's what came out. And after a while, we just putting it out, I just thought that's a really, yeah, it's quite personal, more than we used to. The themes and everything, I just didn't pick it up. That's what came out. So we realized afterwards that that was quite personal, actually, even musically, actually, because we dared trying. I mean, like it's less distorted as an album like we used to do. It's more not acoustic, but it's more I don't know. I want to say pop or country. That's not the word, I think. But
Yeah.
there's less distorted guitars and shit like that. It's less metal than what we used to do. It's more melodic. It's more intricate, and yet it sounds quite catchy in the same time. I think I mean you can bang your head all the way through, and yet we're not a huge fans of 4/4 timings and stuff like that. But I don't know, the way we just puzzled everything together. It was we were all very, very, very into, let's be true, let's be real on what we are doing. Let's forget about the whole fashion stuff, the whole thing, what sounds cool. We all needed to really express ourselves through that. But when all the songs were here, we just realized it was a very personal album. So yeah, that's how it came out. It's never been planned. That's what
it just happens. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean, and I guess it's for most of the artists, it's the same way. It's just when you just aim for expression, just pure expression, raw expression. No, I don't know.
Yeah.
No frames around no frames around what you're gonna say. Usually that's what happens. People don't realize it, but afterwards they just realize what they've been doing, and yeah.
So Elevate type of like a love song, because on the chorus you say nobody can tell what great a part someone else can play. No,
Yeah.
nobody can tell when some will stay and some others drift away.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, I mean, that was funny because again, during that COVID times and everything, I don't know, it just came. I mean, we knew that some people just basically died because of that fucking thing, and it was a realization of for everybody. I think we are not that tough that we think we are. We just need so few things that disturbs our way of life that can just basically end it all. So, and this song basically is more of a realization and how to interpret loss. And
yeah, that's what it sounds like a type of loss, because
yeah, exactly. And yet try to, I don't know, try to be, I won't say positive because it's never a positive event, but how to basically put that sort of stuff. It's just part of life, and that's what life is. Life. It's because of that too, and that's why we should, I don't know, enjoy the time that we are here, whatever we do.
Yeah, but it's also kind of positive. But because you have like a line like, when life becomes a step on a way through, there's nothing wrong in keeping standing. So there's a positivity in the song.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we are positive people. I mean, that's not just me, but us three. We are very, I don't know, we are very positive people. We are not gothic in the mind somehow, you know. So, but I guess again, that's what makes the difference when usually people just basically go see metal bands these days. This whole black stuff, this whole like, oh, it's dark and everything. We enjoy that too. I mean, nothing wrong with that. We really dig some really dark bands. But when we come to express ourselves, I don't know, it comes from light. We need light. And we need like proper, I don't know, shiny stuff, light. Let's get positive. I mean, and again, to be honest, like I think these days, with the way the music industry goes, and with the whole shebang about the whole, if you want to do that in your life, you've got to get positive, because there's, again, the few things that happens can draw you down and just destroy everything really quickly. So yeah, so we're into positive stuff, whatever happens.
Yeah, and I really like a lot of the lyrics on this album because they can be interpreted. Like I think they can mean different things to whoever's reading it. And I'm guessing
Definitely.
is that the way you like to write lyrics, not to be like completely like, okay, you read saying like I know what this is about, or maybe reading it and be like, yeah, this could be about many things, and it can mean something different
Yeah,
depending on your situation.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. I mean, even though I'm really picky about choosing the words and make sure that this sentence and the whole theme is there for me, because I definitely need to pinpoint what I'm going to say, what I'm going to sing about. If I don't know what I'm singing about, no way I can sing. It's just I'm going to recite, but I won't sing. I won't give anything emotionally speaking. So for me, it means definitely something. But the lyrics are written definitely in a way that people can find themselves anytime in whatever occasions if they need it. If you see what I mean, it's just
Yeah.
there's nothing so clear like I don't know. It's not pop. If you see, it's not pop. We are, and as a French, I guess as a French person, again, uh, and I'm not saying the French are all the French people are like that, but in my brain, the way I think about and the way we use the language, it's more about pictures. And then when you speak into picture mode, poetry comes in. Everything, lots of things are coming in all the time. So yeah. So, but definitely that's the way we write lyrics. We want lyrics to mean a lot of things in different themes, and yet,
Yeah.
yeah,
I really found the lyrics in Homesick very interesting because it's not homesick of like you're homesick, it's home and sick. So
yep.
reading the lyrics, I'm wondering if that's about missing a home or like making home wherever you are.
Or being sick, yeah, being sick of where you are. Well, I will say that's both.
Yeah,
But again,
because you read, yeah,
again, there's always this notion of yin and yang in whatever we do, and I think for everybody, it's just you can be in hate with a situation, and yet if you dig a bit more, this situation brings you good also. So, so homesick is more of a way of talking about this kind of yin and yang stuff, where there's black, there's white, and where there's white, there's black. And because of this COVID thing, this after COVID stuff again,
mhm.
basically staying at home for 2.5 fucking
Yes.
years. If you see what I mean, you can like, oh yeah, okay, I'm safe here. So that's great, that's safety. But what the fuck am I here? I mean, you wake up and you just spend your day in the same fucking place, and you can be really sick of it too. And
Yeah.
by different
So yeah,
aspects.
that song I interpreted like home is wherever you are. Like I
Yeah,
don't like it remind not musically, but it reminded me of the things of wherever I may roam from Metallica.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah, like wherever I lay my head to sleep, that's home.
Yeah,
So yeah, I got that from that track. Yeah, and so, yeah, this you have great analogies. Like you have Mad Hatters, which obviously everyone will think of like Alice in Wonderland.
yeah.
But you mentioned leprechauns also in the lyric.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's all about the beast, right? and
Yeah.
uh and to be honest, again, Mad Hatters for me is all about all those people, whatever their levels, when they are into politics and the way they drive the way they drive people's lives and stuff like that. Again, somehow, I mean, this during this COVID time, I don't know how it was in the US there or abroad on the other side of the Atlantic, but here we just heard and we just saw so many crazy shit during that time with the politics, meaning like some of them just didn't know how to control the situation. And yet
So
they've
the
put those,
politicians are the Mad Hatters.
yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the spirit, like,
Mhm.
yeah, they are the people who just want to control everything, run after everything. They all say like, we know how to deal with this, and they just fucking don't. They never saw that coming. And when that came in, that kicked their ass. So yeah,
Yeah.
so yeah.
Yeah. Do you have a right now from this album, do you have a song that which like let me ask you this, which of these songs in this album is the most personal to you and why?
The last song of the album,
The
shut
Beholder.
up. Yeah, The Beholder, yeah.
Mhm.
because it basically regroup all the album. I mean, if you want to know what the album is and the whole mood during of why this album exists, that would be the song we picked. It basically, I don't know, everything is in there.
Yeah, because it says something like life is over, but time is never over. So when I was reading that, I was thinking maybe the beholder is like someone looking at you and you dying and you're going to another life.
For example, that could be that, or that could be also
that. That's what I'm trying to analyze your lyrics.
Yeah. And basically, this song is all about we are nothing. There's always something bigger than us, whatever we do, and whatever that is. Like for some people, that could be religion, and that's great. You know, that's great for them. If for them that's the whole understanding of, if that's the whole answer to make sense of everything in their life, that's great. Go for this. There's no problem with that. For us, for example, for the band, it's more we are into nature, and we are just part of it. And whatever nature chooses to do with you, you're going to follow that. It's just nature is nature, and you're part of it, and you can't fight it. Even though most of the people try to make sure to.
When you die, you go back into nature. You go into the ground. Well, if you're put into the ground.
Yeah, exactly. But even so, I mean, that's the whole thing. I mean, even so, even if you're not put it to the ground, you're going to go back into it. You're going to go back into the whole atmosphere. I mean, it's just one bubble. And this bubble is, and whatever is looking at this bubble is the beholder. And that's what's going to basically play on us more than what we are going to play in your life. You know, if you see what I mean, it's just, we don't have any control on anything. And again, we realized that early on, but this phase of COVID and after COVID was quite obvious. We don't control anything. So the best thing to do is be like a lizard. Try to just go with the fucking thing and just, you know, do as you could.
You named the album Mesh, which is like that's exactly, you have to mesh, you have to like, if it was my album, it would be called Chill.
That's cool.
You just have to chill and just whatever, like c'est la vie, whatever happens, you know, go with the flow. Like
go with the flow. Yeah, that's the thing. But it seemed. And actually, even more today, because this album we've made this album a year and a half already ago. So so in our head we are already somewhere else now. But even more today, we can say that so many people try to go against the wave, and for whatever reason, that could be for ego, because of ego reasons. That could be for fashion. That could be for views. That could be for fucking likes. That could be for they try to, I don't know. Yeah, they try to get stuck somewhere and bring people with them. I don't know, and we don't really understand that. It's just I don't know. Whatever happens, just take it, breathe, and have fun with it. Whatever the way you can, just have fun with it. It's fine. It's all good,
Yeah. So we mentioned a lot that you were inspired by the 90s. Any particular like bands from the 90s that really inspired you?
Oh, there's so many, man. There's really so many. But of course, all those bands like Tool, I'll say Tool, because they definitely brought something into the music landscape. Yeah. Of course, Metallica. I mean, even though they are older than that, but we got into Metallica, like Black Album, the whole Black Album stuff. That was huge at the time. But yeah, Tool, all those. Nine Inch Nails. I'm a huge Nine Inch Nails fan. Bands like that. Not too mainstream though. We like those bands where in the 90s were looked at in a weird way. Like, it's cool, but we don't know what they're doing. We like this kind of dark kind of sound, and yet esotericism somewhere where you don't really, grasp fully what you are. So you have to ask yourself while you're listening, what's happening there. We always like those kind of bands, but more than rock bands actually. I mean, I come from a jazz background. I played jazz for a long time, and I got into jazz a lot. So again, that was a time where I got into this kind of shit, and classical music too, like Steve Reich, all those people, basically all those composers that made their arms and their weapons into the 70s and basically came out with brilliant pieces into the 90s. So yeah, we are into those kind of music from the 90s. But it's very, I mean, it's just because I'm talking to you now, I just can't really think and I can't really pinpoint what band in particular. But there's so many, man. There's so many bands.
Yeah.
Sorry, what did you say? Yeah, I told about that. Yeah, Nine Inch Nails, of course, yes. So yeah.
Oh, who's that? Who are you talking to?
Oh, that they just Katie just arrived.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
Cool. Yeah. So yeah, no, yeah. So I want to show the artwork. Katie can join too if she's if she wants to join
do you want to join,
the
Katie?
interview. Yeah.
No, she said no, not right now. She needs a break. So she might pop in later. She might pop in later.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. So I want to show this is the artwork of the album for
Yeah.
Mesh. So yeah, are these handprints, right?
Yeah, they are. That's Mika. Yeah, Mika did that. He's a friend of us, of ours, and he's got his band actually. He played. What's the name of the band? I can't remember. Katie, do you remember the name? Erinundae. Yeah, they are from
Okay.
Toulouse. Really cool band. Very dark music, but really well crafted. I mean, the craft of the band is great. And but anyway, that's the second time he's made the cover for us, and I guess somehow the theme, the whole theme, and the whole process of the album making, when we gave that to him as a theme, and we just said, try something to make something out of this. He nearly apologized coming out with these kind of pictures, and we thought that's the best. That's great because it's definitely human. It stays human, and I mean, a handprint is, you can't mistake a handprint from a human or something else. So we thought that's great, and the whole mesh of handprints and everything, and yet
Exactly.
yeah, and the whole space around it, and the whole mystery of the black and everything. We just thought that's great. And for us, it's not a very dark album, but yet it's as deep as black can be, I think, about the theme and everything. So there's mystery there. I don't know, everything. We just thought it's great. It's just brilliant. So once we agreed on let's have that as a theme, you just create the whole thing around it, like the whole cover and the whole thing. Yeah.
And you start the album with a song called Unity, which
Yes,
which makes sense because I think that the album, maybe it's not a concept album, but I think there's constant themes on this record.
yeah, definitely. And
Yeah,
the whole
because
thing
it's not like it follows a story, like, you know, there's some concept albums that follow a story, but I think there's like a running theme through this of like, because Unity, Elevate, it's like what I got from it, the lyrics was like, it felt like an album of like being positive in shitty situations.
that's the whole thing. But that's definitely that's definitely the whole thing, definitely. And in the end, we are just humans. Whatever happens, we're just humans, and let's face that, and let's accept it and just have fun again with it. Let's find the right way to be as human as you can be, even though it's hard today, because again, the whole internet shit and the whole way people behave with the digital world today can be misleading. It can be so misleading in so many ways. And our attitude so far was like, well, you see, I don't know if there's a crash of anything. If the internet dies today, most of the young people won't know how to deal with the situation. So
not us. We grew up in the 90s.
Yeah, but I mean, not. I don't want to sound like an old fart and an old fucking. But I mean, but when you say that, it's I quite agree with you, because we grew up with our parents' knowledge and the whole way of life of, you've got nothing, do what you can with that, and you can deal with that. And we are right in the middle of this switch where now it's all digitalized. Everything is, people, I mean, if they want to know anything, they've got to Google it. and they just take it as it is.
Go to the library.
Yeah, exactly. They go to the library, and even though they never experienced everything, they think they know everything just because of Google. So
Well,
I
I
mean,
kind of miss. I like going to the library. It was fun. You went out. You
yeah,
read. Oh, you found something.
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah,
know. And
definitely.
and you got out and saw nature. Now, if you're always at your house, like googling stuff and never going out, I don't know. I enjoy the part of going out. Like I
Yeah,
still go
and
out and stuff. Like yeah.
yeah, I mean, definitely. That's something that, yeah, you can't replace that. And for me, that's the most tricky thing to explain to someone who doesn't know or doesn't experience that is you can take 10 people going out into the forest, for example. You
Mhm.
go deep in the wild, have your experience. Those 10 people are in the same place and they will have different experiences. And
Yeah.
yet, Google, everybody reads the same shit. So everybody knows the same shit. And yet it's not true. The only thing that you know is what you live, what is your experience through the real stuff, not what through your readings or so. So yeah, it's all about, yeah. I mean, it's all personal in the end, and that's what I keep again. That's the whole theme of the album somehow is like the lyrics, like the way the lyrics are written. Find your own thing into what you've got, and whatever happens, this thing is your thing, and that's great. That's the whole point of life: is finding your ways, in finding your sense, finding your reason, finding why you're here, finding why you do things in your way, finding your thing. That's the whole thing. But don't.
But I was wondering, like, because you already have 3 songs, when the album drops, do you have is there another single coming out?
Yes, there will be. I think
Is it New Page?
no, that won't be new
Oh,
page.
it's
That would
not New
be
Page.
that would be Mad Hatters. Actually, I think
That would be what? Your what?
Mad Hatters.
Mad Hatters. Yeah, I like
Yeah,
New Page too. Uh,
yeah,
yeah, because it's all about, like living life, like running around, like
yeah,
what I like like every day. Well, there's some hipsters that say I hate it when the new year and they're like day 2 of of
yeah, yeah.
306. Oh my god! And I think after 30 days they stop that shit. I'm like
Yeah, of course.
day 32. I woke up again. I don't know,
Exactly.
like
No,
like
no. I mean,
stuff like that.
but
Mm.
yeah. I mean, it's every day like that. I mean, it's a it's a never-ending process when you think about it. But I don't know. Somehow
Yeah,
people realize it once, once every year. Like, oh, I've been 30 days living now today. Yeah, yeah. You've been doing
yeah.
that for quite some time. But yeah, I mean, you can notice that just today if you want.
That's right. So the album is out on the 27th via Pelagic Records. So I'll post the link for people, so people who are in the US, the pre-orders in different areas. So I'll post that so people can,
Great.
can get it. Are you guys doing some shows after the release, a tour?
Yes, yes, we are. I mean, we are basically. I mean, the album is coming out this month, by the end of this month,
It's
and
coming out one day before my birthday. So
awesome.
I turn,
Okay.
yeah, I turn. I'm not gonna say. I turn. Well, I'll
I
turn
mean,
47 on September 28th.
well, that's good. I mean, yeah. You said you were from the 90s too, so we might
Yes.
not be so far
Yeah.
from each other.
Yeah. I actually born in the 70s, but I identify more. I grew up sometime in the 80s, but like most of the stuff that I love is from the 90s.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that was a great time for me. But anyway,
Yeah.
but but yeah. I mean, so we've got this album coming out by the end of this month, and in a month, about a month after, we are starting a European tour. We are headlining Europe, so we're gonna go through half November till half December through Europe. So that would be tough for US citizens to just come around. It might be a stretch there, but
Yes.
then there will be more touring in 2025 anyway. So
Yeah.
we might end up in the US for this time again. We'll see.
Nice. So I really enjoyed the album. So I'm going to review it for the release week
Please, yeah,
because I like the album, so I'll talk more about it. And since now I know more about the lyrics, I'll say more about it. But musically, it's I call it more of like an alternative rock album with some because like maybe it's they put prog in it, but I sense more of like an alternative rock band. That
Yeah,
obviously an alternative rock band. If you think about it, most alternative rock bands really experimented because
yeah,
when I think of like Jane's Addiction, doesn't sound anything like a Pearl Jam, and they're both in the alternative realm. Like alternative to me means that they do different stuff.
Radiohead is a good example too.
That
Well, you,
Radiohead, yeah, and
yeah,
Radiohead has like they have changed so much when they brought in the electronics, and
oh
you know
yeah,
Tom York has that like that voice that you know it's him. They have
yeah.
another band now called The Smile. If you haven't listened to them,
The Smile, yeah, 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 I do.
yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah,
It's basically Tom York's newer band,
yeah,
more in the like an alternative rock type of way. So,
yeah.
so Matthew, like I enjoyed chatting with you today. You have a lovely, yeah, it looks like a lovely countryside home.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's typical from the region. Yeah, definitely like proper like a lizard, you know, but a proper stone house, you know, with you
yeah,
can see the stones. Yeah, I mean this house has been like it's been built in 1847. So
wow,
yeah, so you can imagine, you know, it's like a good home is a good home for whatever time that does.
yes. I think they built better back in those days. That's why
They
it
fucking knew how
stands
to do it. Yeah,
the
definitely. They
test
knew how
of
to,
time. Just
yeah.
like good music. Good music stands the test of time. So so yeah,
Okay.
so Couchers, you heard it here. Lizzard's new album, Mesh, is coming out September the 27th. If you're in Europe, catch them through Europe. And I would recommend them if you haven't listened to them, if you like the type of bands that we've spoken. If you like Tool, Carnival, uh, King Crimson, they like all those type of bands,
Yeah.
you can enjoy what Lizard is doing musically. So anything, Matthew, you'd like to say to the fans before we go?
Well, thanks for your interview. That was a very refreshing interview, and the themes we approached on this interview was great. Sorry for my English, my twisted way of
No
speaking.
way.
Yeah, but again, thanks for everybody for listening to that, and we'll definitely see each other someday.
Yeah. So until next time, Couchers, this is
Yep.
Hector, the shield dude on a couch, and I'll see you all right here on the couch. Thank you and goodbye.